I'm Michael Bain, and welcome to Triggered, coming to you, of course, from Dragon House Studios in the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains, where we're, still in hiding. Like most of the time I stay under the bed, I wear a mask. I put generally a garbage bag over my head because I've looked out my window sometime at night and there's viruses, COVID-19 viruses the size of beach balls bouncing around here in Colorado. That's the kind of risk we're all living with. Today's Triggered is more of a show and tell on a new gun. First impressions, just to show it to you. We're going to be working with it a little bit later. It is a Ruger American Compact Pro model in 45 ACP. Now, this gun, I've had it for, a month or so, a couple of months. It was in the queue. And lo and behold, it came up to first in line. So I've started working a little bit with this gun. It's kind of interesting. The whole, Ruger American line, what we've got there is pre-tension striker pistols, polymer frame, very well designed. Now, this isn't the first time that Ruger has dipped into the striker-fired pistol market, but they've never quite been able to get the market share that they thought they would be able to. Originally, if you remember, Ruger came in with the SR9, and I like the SR9. Myself and my good friend Dave Spalding, law enforcement trainer, and Ken Jorgensen from Ruger went through the Gunsight 250 class, a week-long class, with brand new out-of-the-box SR9s. And we all shot expert, just the same as we had shot with tuned 1911s. So I've got a lot of rounds through the SR9, and I committed to Ruger that I would go ahead and run the SR9 for a couple of seasons in competition. And if you look behind me at the picture, that is me running a Ruger SR9 in, I believe, the IDPA Nationals, I think down in Florida. You can tell by the vest it's IDPA. Look how focused I look. But I had really good luck with the gun in competition, both locally and in the Nationals that I shot. And in fact, for a while, I carried the predecessor of this gun, which would be this little guy. This is a Ruger SR9 Compact. And once again, good package, fairly heavy. The SR9s were heavy little guns. So Ruger worked with this platform for a while and then decided that it had painted them into a little bit of a corner. So they took the next step up to the Ruger American pistols. And this is the newest version. And this is a really slick little gun. It clocks in at something like, 29 ounces, just below 29 ounces. It's 45 ACP, polymer frame, pre-tension striker. It's pretty good size for a 45 ACP. I've pretty much gone over to 9mm of course, for my own self-defense uses. But when you look at this gun, it makes a lot of sense, and I can see a little bit why Ruger opted to essentially abandon the SR9 platform. This gun is essentially stainless steel cradle set into the polymer frame, rails. It's got, if you'll notice here, an actual pick rail, 1913 Picatinny rail, as opposed to some rail that somebody made up that is sort of like a Picatinny rail but requires you to use an adapter. This is an actual Picatinny rail. The other thing you'll notice, and a step up from the SR9s, especially the SR9 Compact, you can see that in order to disassemble, you had to push this out, drop the slide release, slide it off. I don't believe you had to pull a trigger on this. That was one of the safety advantages of that gun and this gun. You do not have to pull the trigger to disassemble the gun, which is kind of an issue sometimes for some people. But the polymer frame, extremely well designed. Now, this is another reason I think that Ruger went away from the SR9 platform. You see this part of the polymer frame back here? That is basically a grip panel. And if you have bigger, greater, fattier, chubbier hands, Ruger gives you a different piece that you can put on back there. The texturing is just right, and that's really important. Sometimes texturing sharp, sometimes it's not sharp enough. Ruger's been doing handguns for a long time. They understand how texturing works. The grip itself fits very well. Magazines, 7+1. And here's, I think, is a real bonus. When you buy the gun, you get 3 7.1 7+1 magazines. This is great because magazines are expensive. These magazines pretty good, pretty good. They're also Teflon coated. They're slick. Slick magazines fall out of guns very, very well. Trigger pull on this gun is once again exceptional in striker-fired pistol. We all sort of live in Glock universe, right? We got this like long, take-up, mushy kind of trigger. That's what has made Glock triggers, Apex, a lot of money. This trigger, all by itself, is right at 4.5 pounds off my gauge, and as a consequence, there's no reason for you to spend a lot of money on this trigger. It's a little take-up on these triggers, not that much, not what I would call mushy at all. Good break, no over travel. That's kind of what you want with a trigger for a self-defense gun. It also comes with an actual genuine set of Novak grips. Of course, my friend Wayne Novak has been making grips since the cows came home. And this is a set of authentic 3-dot Novak sights. You can see the dovetailed in front sight and your rear sight here. You've got some windage adjustments with that. Novak makes excellent world-class sights. And I'm really sorry I hate 3-dot sights. If I were going to keep this gun and I was going to carry this gun, the first thing I would do is take a magic marker and black out the dots. Actually, I'd probably just black out the rear dots. I'm happy enough with the front dot. I don't want the distraction of the rear dots. I want a sight picture. The other thing I really, really like about this little gun is the miracle of Cerakote. This is gray, and I love Gray Man Gray. I guess that's what you'd call this, Gray Man Gray. Gray Man Gray, of course, is kind of the new FDE, Flat Dark Earth. And there's a joke that among my friends that used to be whenever I moved to a new house, I would paint my walls Kodak 18% gray. I would find the color by holding up a Kodak gray card. And then I would say, hey, this is the color I want. So basically what we got here is an 18% gray gun. Slide frame are Cerakoted. All the controls are ambidextrous. You don't have to dance around with it. Slide release ambidextrous. Magazine release ambidextrous. Excellent sights. Great hand feel. I'm looking forward to working with this gun. Am I going to keep it? It's 45. I've kind of moved south of 45s, but it'd really be fun for me and Dave Spalding, to go through a Gunsight 250 with this gun. We got lots more stuff for you when Triggered returns. Hang on. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Ammo Man, still offering $10 off any order of $150 or more with the promo code TRIGGERED. Lipsy's and their wonderful Guns of the Month. Franklin Armory, creating some of the most innovative guns in America. And our two newest sponsors, Volquartsen, you're going to see some really nice 22s, and Taurus. I've got some real surprises for you on the Taurus front. Welcome back to Triggered, and I know it's going to come as a complete shock to all of you, but yes, I've joined the Filipino Navy. I'll be shipping out any minute now. Actually, this is a gift from the Filipino Navy. When we were there in the Philippines, we went to Corregidor, if you remember. We were there with ARMSCOR, the Tuasan family, and we did this spectacular trip to Corregidor. I mean, the two Philippine episodes of Shooting Gallery at ARMSCOR there, I think, were just exceptional. And as a gift, the Filipino Navy gave me a uniform. I think they're trying to coax me into joining and coming back. I didn't get a name badge, though, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But anyway, this came as a gift, came in the mail. I get cool stuff in the mail. And I wanted to just talk a little bit about this guy who you've seen before. This is an ARMSCOR 22 TCM, larger capacity, 1911. And I love this gun. I love this gun. The 22 TCM, these little guys right here, I'm a huge fan. And the reason is I like things that go really, really fast, make a lot of noise, and have a fireball the size of a nuclear weapon. These guns are cool little guns. The 22 TCM is a Lawson Craig Magnum. It was made by Fred Craig, a good friend of mine, gunsmith. It was kind of his mini mag. What he wanted was a cartridge that would launch out of a 1911, a little light bullet, 40 grain bullet, at around 2,000 feet per second out of a 5-inch barrel, which is a neat trick. And the cool thing is Fred actually accomplished that. He began working with Martin Tuason to say, okay, how can we bring this to market? And this is what eventually came out. The 22 TCM, it's got a 40 grain jacketed hollow point bullet. If you want something that shoots flat, out of a 1911, that shoots flat. At 100 yards, you have a couple inches at most. And you can get over 2,000 feet per second out of this gun. I've gotten right at 2,000 feet per second out of 2 of them, shooting them through chronographs in the Philippines. It's a neat cartridge. It does not recoil at all. And you know what it reminds you of? It reminds you of that, doesn't it? That's 5.7 by 2.8. And so it's sort of the same philosophy that you can see here, which is the idea of taking a little bullet and driving the living heck out of it, where it's really cranking along really quick. I think that's also a 40 grain bullet in the 5.7 by 28. And the reason I wanted to bring this out and spend some time with it is we are going to be filming at Gunsight for Shooting Gallery later on in July sometime, assuming they let us out, with little bitty bullets going fast. So we're going to be working with the Ruger 5.7, the FN 5.7, except that's spelled out capital F-I-V-E dash small S-E-V-E capital N 5.7. We're also going to be shooting this gun, the 22 TCM from ARMSCOR, and a couple of long guns, including CMMG's new 5.7 by 28, and of course the earlier iteration of the AR 5.7, which is a really neat kind of gun that fed off an F&H P90 magazine. Hopefully we'll also have a Diamondback 5.7. Right now those are in short supply, but I'm hoping we can line one up in time to have it at Gunsight for you. One of the things that I like about this gun, and one of the things that I always mean to do with this gun, is think of it as the equivalent of an SKS or 30-30 rifle hanging in the back of a truck. The reason is ranchers see it all the time around here because these are big ranches in Colorado. I saw it all the time, farms in Tennessee. Typically, people carried a gun in their truck for stuff, i.e. a coyote, a fox, some kind of varmint, even sometimes rabbits that ended up as dinner, because it was a useful tool to have available to you. And I said, and I actually talked to Martin Tuason about this, said, you know what, this is kind of the 21st century equivalent of a truck gun. You've got, I think, 13 rounds, 14 rounds in this guy, and you've got a bullet that's traveling 2,000 feet per second, 40 grain bullet, which is an excellent varmint class bullet. Thirdly, and Martin Tuason carries a 22 TCM as his self-defense carry gun, as do a number of people at ARMSCOR in the Philippines and here in the United States. If the 5.7 by 2.8 is a very good defensive cartridge, then the 22 TCM is also a very good defensive cartridge, because ballistically they are brother and sister. So I'm going to spend some more time with this. I told Martin, as soon as I get around to it, I'm going to shave off this back part of it. We're going to have a red dot sight on it. We'll sight it in at 25 yards, verified at 50 and 100. And that's what we're going to be shooting at Gunsight. We're going to be ranking it out to about 100 yards and see how this little cartridge performs, how the 5.7 performs. So I just wanted to show you that. So when you hear a lot of noise coming from around here, you'll know that that's exactly what I'm doing. And of course, now I got little cartridges rolling all around the bench. Before we're out of here, I want to show you a couple of new products. This one I got last week when I was at American Outdoor Brands in Columbia, Missouri. One of their brands is Lockdown. Now, we showed you the puck, right, which is a vibration sensor that you can put on your safe door. You can put on a window. You can do any of that. Or you can tune it for vibration. You can tune it for humidity. You can tune it for temperature, any of those things. And it'll notify you via Wi-Fi, which is a really kind of a neat thing. It's like having a silent alarm. Lockdown also has these. These are 25 LED lights for safes. They have motion sensors, so when you open the door of your safe, the light comes on. And believe me, I need this. I'm always in the safe with like has a little flashlight going, where did I put that gun? So these go inside your safe. They have 3 AAA batteries in it. They're good for 6 hours continuous runtime and, I don't know, 8,000 hours of just sitting in your safe. You don't often leave your safe open for 6 hours at a time. Another product that we're going to be talking about here a little bit more, this is from Bullet Safe. And they're a really great company. We featured some of their bulletproof vest on The Best Defense. I believe Michael Janet shot a bunch of them. These are their bulletproof 3A, level 3A bulletproof panels for attaché cases and backpacks. Panel drops into the backpack. Should you really badly need something on your front, if people are shooting at you, you can essentially flip the backpack around and now you've got a 3A bulletproof panel in front of you. So we're going to show you this in a backpack. We're going to show you how all that works a little bit later on. I wanted to give you a heads up. In any case, Triggered. You can find us on michaelbain.tv. You can find us on YouTube. And you can probably find us on a Philippine missile attack ship. Even if I can't sink a Chinese freighter. We will see you next week.